Get ready to supercharge your glutes like never before and discover this two-step method that's a game changer when it comes to unleashing your glutes' true potential. And in this video, I'll give you some insight as to why you will transform your workouts with these two vital steps. But I'll also walk you through an easy yet incredibly powerful activation and warm-up circuit that will ignite those powerhouses. And like I always say, trust Uncle Sal. Now my assistant Susan and myself has spent a bit of time looking into this strategy. So give it a go and let us know your thoughts. But before we dive in, let's take a minute to pay our respects to this beautiful and most desired body part and reflect on its relevance in our optimum day-to-day functionality. Now your glute complex is a combination of three muscles: glute minimus, glute medius, and of course the glute maximus. But for me, two of them stand out and are unsung heroes, working together for more efficient movement in your daily life. Now with this in mind, let's talk teamwork. Your glute max and glute medius work together with the lats like a sling, commonly known as the posterior oblique sling, transferring forces between your upper and your lower body. This teamwork boosts your efficiency during activities like walking, running, and everyday functional movement. And this, my friend, is where your two-step process comes into its own and the science takes over. So here's the kicker. Some clinical findings have noted that optimum glute max performance is directly reliant on its sidekick, the glute medius. And therefore, strengthening the medius can boost the overall function of both muscles. And this in part is due to the ability of the glute medius to maintain optimal alignment of the femur relative to the pelvis, resulting in optimal force production during hip extension. Now, understanding this partnership and how activating these two muscles and getting them to work together synergistically to unlock your glute's potential during your workouts is worth looking into. And that's where your two-step process kicks in. And to follow is a sequence of exercises and their correct how-to-dos that you can use to get them cheeks all kinds of fired up. Oh, and guys, remember, if you like the content, give us a thumbs up and subscribe for future content. Step 1, activation of the glute medius. Exercise number 1, one of my favorites, clams. Now the glute medius is not only the primary abductor of the hip, but also stabilizes the hip, pelvis, and femur during walking, running, jumping, and functional movement patterns. Be sure to focus on neutral spine, no rotation of the pelvis as we abduct against the resistance of the band. Exercise 2, lying side leg raises. In this movement, we extend our leg backwards against the resistance of the band in order to activate the glute max. This in turn shuts down a dominant muscle known as the TFL, and this allows us to isolate the medius to get optimum results from this movement pattern, with a little bit of help from his big brother. Step 2, glute max activation. Exercise 3, lying hip extension. The glute max, aka the big house, is one of the largest muscles in the body and is the powerhouse for your movement and play a vital role in propelling you forward and even slowing you down. However, this powerful muscle is prone to underactivity and being lazy, and therefore the need for a constant reminder as to their function. They assist in the stabilization of the hip, knee, SI joint, and potentially your lumbar spine, acting as a key player in hip extension. Key points to remember here: drawing in of the abdominal, contraction of the quadricep, extension of the knee, pointing of the toe, slight abduction against the resistance of the band, engage the glute max for hip extension. Following these cues will ensure that there's no participation from any overexcited muscles that love to take over the work of the glute max. Exercise 4, glute bridge. Key points to remember during this movement pattern is maintaining optimal alignment of the hip, knee, and feet during abduction away from the resistance of the band. And be sure to squeeze your cheeks through the full range of motion as we extend through the hip line. Exercise 5, standing reactive activation. Key points to remember during this particular movement pattern is maintaining a neutral alignment of the hip during abduction away from the resistance of the band and flexion of the knee on the stabilizing leg. Okay, time to wrap it all up. So let's remember, this is a warm-up/activation circuit that can be utilized to get your glutes fired up prior to your main conditioning programming. And doing 1 to 2 sets is adequate to get the job done. Rep ranges should range between 12 to 20 reps per exercise, and the exercises are to be completed in sequence, back to back with no rest periods in between, from exercise 1 all the way through to exercise 5. Thank you for watching, and for more insight into getting visible abs, be sure to watch the next video.